Yo, what is up, everybody? John from Tau Tactics here, bringing you another video. Today we're going to be talking about one of the most popular units in the Tau army these days, the Ghostkeel battlesuit. So what we've seen recently is 1 to 3 of these in almost every high-performing list recently from Tau, so I want to walk through why folks are taking it, what role it serves in the army, and showcasing how to deploy these guys because it can be a little tricky. But before we hop into today's video, I have a really exciting announcement that we're doing an awesome giveaway courtesy of Secondhand Geek. So if you are familiar with Secondhand Geek, they're an online marketplace for wargamers like you and me. And what they've done is helped me put together a custom auxiliary cadre battle force to give away to you guys for free. So we've got Commander Shadowsun, not 3, but 6 Krutox Rampagers, a unit of Vespid, and a broadside battlesuit. So all you need to do to get entered into the giveaway is sign up using my referral link down below to Secondhand Geek. Do me a favor, go check out what they have in the Tau section. I actually have a few Tetras that I'm selling on there if you want to convert some models into Piranhas and whatnot. Also, leave a like and comment down below what has got you most excited about this battle force. Is it the Rampagers? Is it Shadowsun? Is it the Broadsides? Etc. We're doing this for September for the whole month, so we do have another giveaway coming up at the end of the month as well. So once you sign up with Secondhand Geek using the referral link down below, you'll also automatically be entered into the future giveaways as well. But without further ado, let's hop right into the video. So why is the Ghostkeel so strong? I recently took 3 of them to my last GT that I played at, and I will be taking 3 again to the newest GT. So first and foremost, one thing that you'll see a lot in the meta, and I still believe it's going to be the case after the nerfs to Knights, is a lot of long-range anti-tank. Now the reason that this is in the meta is because Knights shooting is between 24 to 36 inches, so anything like las cannons, like broadside battlesuits, for example, do a good job of ensuring that Knights are either going to be shooting you from the close ranges or not at all. So what we're seeing a lot is these long-range, high-damage shots, which are super inefficient into Ghostkeels because they're able to blank 2 incoming damages from your opponent per game, which is a super powerful ability. And again, because of the Knights in the meta today and the high damage being so effective into them, that D6+1, D6+2, you're starting to see more things like Repulsor Executioners coming back in Black Templars, for example. Those are super inefficient to Ghostkeels. I believe it takes if I remember correctly, it'll take 3 to 4 turns of continuously activating a Repulsor Executioner to actually kill a Ghostkeel because of the blanks, because of stealth. So those layered buffs, along with Infiltrate, means that the Ghostkeel is going to get to continuously activate into your opponent's army, while being a huge nuisance for them. So staying power is another portion of this, right? The layered defensive buffs with stealth, lone up, and the 2 blanks means that it's very difficult to take these guys down in a single activation, and it also allows you as the Tau player to really dominate the early game because of the infiltrate ability that the Ghostkeel has. Now, being able to set up 3 of these guys in ideal positions across the battlefield is super powerful, and I wouldn't underestimate how important it is. Now, one experience that I had playing with 3 Ghostkeels early on was, while I was deploying them, I would sometimes leave them just a little bit too close to my opponent's answers, and that could really be the difference between whether or not this is a huge benefit to your army in being able to harass your opponent and ensure that they aren't, staging aggressively on you, or they're a super easy counter that your opponent might have. So identifying those counters early and being careful to measure out threat ranges is a super important part of leveraging the Ghostkeel battlesuit. Next, so how do you use them? So the way that I like to stage my Ghostkeels is I like to have them in essentially a line across the battlefield. So if my opponent charges 1 Ghostkeel, that means 2 other Ghostkeels are shooting and responding to them. So you don't want to really have them in a position where they're staged so aggressively that your opponent isn't punished by going all in and trying to take them out as quickly as possible. One thing that you need to be really careful of with Ghostkeels is your opponent's mortal wound output. So a unit of JPI, for example, is actually actually really good into Ghostkeels because they can both throw a grenade and do charge mortals, so they'll average anywhere from like 5 to 6 damage to a Ghostkeel, and then you really are just looking for a little bit of chip damage and making that charge so that you can have that power fist swing into them. So make sure that you're staging them in a position where you can respond, because a lot of times your opponent, to take one out, has to go all in on a Ghostkeel, and being able to pick up those resources is an important aspect of getting a lot of value out of the Ghostkeel, knowing that while your opponent does have the capability to take out the Ghostkeel, most likely, you want to be able to ensure that that is a trade, and you're taking away the resources they're committing to get rid of them. Next, a really important aspect of Ghostkeel is using the infiltrate ability to threaten staging points. So what you're going to want to do is position them in a place that with that 10-inch movement, you can then threaten important staging points for your opponent and influence the game without even really putting them in a position of danger at all, right? And I'll showcase that really shortly here with how you can position them on Search and Destroy, for example, to do just that. So let's hop in to our TTS view. So what you can see here is what a typical deployment for me would look like with 3 Ghostkeels on Search and Destroy. So what I'm talking about with threatening staging points is right here. So this spot right here is a place on Search and Destroy that typically opponents will stage something like a unit of Chaosborn or maybe even a Rhino in this position, and having Ghostkeels staged right up here to take advantage of the first turn is going to force them to deploy a little bit less aggressively. And that's really important for a few reasons, right? One is going to be early game scoring. Now, they're not going to have a ton of units that are going to be able to score secondaries for them because they're not going to be infiltrating them as aggressively. Scoring primary their first turn is going to become a little bit more difficult because you have 3 OC that can easily get to their objective if they deploy too closely. Now, if you are in the rare case or you're playing an opponent who doesn't have infiltrate, like for example, Thousand Suns, this is a spot I really like as well. Because again, if your opponent, and you got to measure the 12 inches here and just make sure that you're not giving away easy lines of sight and shooting. So let's say they have a Rhino there that moves 12. You want to make sure you're outside of that 12-inch threat range. So you're somewhere like here. And this is a super annoying spot for your opponent because likely in the early game they're going to want to put 2 or 3 OC on this natural expansion, which means you automatically have an answer with this Ghostkeel. Now, one other thing you're going to notice is I really like to put my Ghostkeels in a position that's pretty wide on the open. The reason being, in a firing lane, the reason being is I want it to be somewhere where I'm naturally already staging my other shooting pieces. So if they do get charged, I know that I have an answer immediately to kill whatever that was. So, for example, this spot right here, usually I would stage, let's actually grab something. Let's say an Ion Hammerhead is typically staged right here. Usually another Ion Hammerhead is staged right here. And so if my opponent does go for, like, let's say a long bomb charge, maybe it's Blood Angels, they move 12, and they hit, you know, whatever this is, an 8-inch charge, a 7-inch charge over here, then with an 8-inch move plus 2, I'm getting line of sight on the unit that's touching the Ghostkeel. This Ion Hammerhead with a pivot, it's going 7 inches, 10. It's also getting line of sight over here. And again, typically you're not finding that your opponent has a lot of answers that are worth less points than a Ghostkeel is. Usually it takes more of a commitment from them, a disproportionate commitment to shift them. And meanwhile, you're getting to continuously activate your 3 damage guns into your opponent's scoring pieces, into their early game. And you still have Ghostkeels while they're losing pieces slowly. Let's see if I can load another map in here. Here we go. So on layout 6, another area that I really like. We're playing Crucible here. I would say one thing that makes me super uncomfortable as a Tau player is these spots right here on layout 6, because I don't get a lot of the firing angle for most of my army can be very difficult. So what I like to do is stage the Ghostkeels in a place where I want to centralize my opponent's resources. So this is another thing that Ghostkeels do, is it really forces your opponent to come to certain areas of the board and engage. So what I want to be doing is fighting over this firing angle right here. These are the firing angles I want my opponent to be focused on. So I'm going to stage them in a place where they are not going to be able to engage with me unless they're within 12 inches, which is right in this spot right here, where again, I'm typically staging my guns here, typically staging some guns here, typically have a broadside or two on this angle. So again, you really want to put them in a place where you're forcing your opponent to come to you, and then you can activate your guns over and over again, and ideally slow them down that way. Layout 2 is another great layout for Ghostkeels because it's a super open map. Oh boy, didn't like that one. Let's go this and like that. Perfect. So again, layout 2 is another really great layout. Usually this is tipping point. Again, your opponent can't really stage anything out here with fear of getting shot by both Ghostkeels and the rest of your anti-tank, whereas this is a really strong staging point for us as we play with Ghostkeels, right? I can infiltrate up here, prepare to threaten this angle right here, which is a great staging point for your opponent. Early game, I even will stage things like hammerheads right in this spot, knowing that they don't really have anything that's going to threaten up into this angle across here. And same thing, now we have access to this part of the board, threatening these staging points of our opponents if they do have something with like a scout move, for example. And then I typically love just having one within 10 of the center to go out and force my opponent to respond as quickly as possible. If I identify that they only have 1 or 2 units that are really worth or that have the potential to take out a Ghostkeel, then that's when I will decide to put it near the middle and try to threaten scoring extra primary. Now that's really going to do it for today's video. Just wanted to talk a little bit about why the Ghostkeel is so powerful, why you should consider using them in your list. Super powerful unit for the Tau army. Again, any units that we have today that can take a punch, continue to activate, continue to harass your opponent is really strong for Tau. Want to end with just thanking our channel's patrons for all the support as usual. Wouldn't be able to do this without you guys. Really awesome group that we have here. If you're interested in joining the conversation, highly recommend checking out the Discord down below. We have a really cool Discord there, I think. Pretty unique in the community, where we have a very open forum and have some really great conversations over there. So thanks everyone for checking out today's video. If you enjoyed, please drop me a like, comment down below for the algorithm. I would greatly appreciate it, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.